obviously it's happened, Gallagher. Obviously, back at her tonight for your group at home here against Vancouver. Just a thought on, from a veteran's perspective, how it's maybe different than some of the young kids out there that are trying to ply their trade and get in the mix.
Well, the one good thing is, we're getting closer and closer to opening night, and you want to use these games to kind of get yourself back in the game shape, and get your bearings back on the ice and all that type of stuff. So sometimes you don't take these games or these situations seriously, but they are helpful. There is purpose to them, especially from a personal note, and you definitely don't want to take any situation lightly when you're this close to opening night.
Can you compare and contrast maybe when you broke in the league how different preseason games are now? I mean, because I'm going to assume you're trying to look to maybe get yourself noticed out there, and there's less guys capable of doing that than ever before.
Yeah, for sure. What is there? There's been, I think, one fight in all of exhibition season throughout the whole league so far, and rewind it 10 years when I came in, I think I fought 4 times in exhibition season just to hopefully stick around. But yeah, it's just the mindset when you're a young guy trying to get yourself noticed. You're doing whatever you can. For me, it was more of a physical type of thing, going out there, laying big hits, getting in on the forecheck, and having to, I guess, drop the gloves to get myself noticed. And so you can see now we got a pretty young lineup again today, and I'm sure, and I know Vancouver's got a pretty young lineup, so there's going to be guys probably not from the fighting standpoint, but other standpoints trying to do whatever they can to get themselves noticed.
I don't know if that opportunity is going to be there tonight, but you did take challenges even after you established yourself as an NHL player. I remember the scrap with Joe Recklitz that you had. that was a beauty. I mean, is it incumbent upon in that situation? And I don't know if you're going to get asked, but I mean, what happens in that scenario at this stage? You sit there and say, "Hey, I'm going to save this for the regular season," or how does that work now, or does it depend on the situation?
Well, that's I remember that situation, and he didn't really give me a choice, so I kind of had to get in there. But this time of year, like I said, the most important thing for me is just get my legs, get my hands, getting the feeling of the game going again. Last thing you want to do is get injured in from a fight at this time of year, especially like you said. I've already established that a part of my game. I don't think I have to prove to anyone that if I can fight or not. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's just about getting my game ready for opening night.
You played a fair amount last night.
guys get another crack at preseason here. Established veteran like yourself, what do you try to do in these games?
Well, I think it's a lot. You have to find your game early, especially even if it's a preseason. You wanna get to know your body, your skating abilities, and see on the ice what you worked on all summer. So it's good to get these games in.
How are you feeling so far in camp and coming into your second year with this team?
Good. I feel good. My body feels good. Feels good to be back with all the guys. Most of the guys stayed from last year, so it's been fun so far.
Did it take long to get used to Oscar again, or was it like just where you left off when you guys got back on the ice together?
Well, I think it's more the system-wise we have to get a little bit reminded to, but it comes back pretty quick. And obviously, having Oscar on my side helps a lot too. But we have to start where we left off. So it is.
Most of Vancouver's top-end players are in China. You're playing a team here that, what does that do in terms of guys like you trying to get settled in and everything? Do you look across at the opposition and, it's not much of it's not an NHL challenge, Frank?
You know what? Sometimes it can be even more difficult to not play the NHL guys in the off season and in the preseason. So it's a challenge for us. We need to take steps in the right direction as our group. We don't have to look too much across the room here, and we just have to take care of our own business. And we know what we have to do, and we just have to take steps. It's still a couple of games left, but everyone is important for us if we want to continue to grow.
More of a challenge because non-NHL guys are sort of hungrier to prove themselves in preseason?
Obviously, it's a lot of young guys that want to make a name of themselves, so it's could be tougher. You never know what to expect. You never play the guys, and it's just a different challenge.
Adam, have you noticed a change in pace these preseason games with the emphasis on special teams?
A little bit. I think it's more whistles. That kind of slow the rhythm down a little bit, but pace itself, no, not really.
guys, and I think I feel like 80%. Like some few days, it should be good.
So you're hoping to get some preseason games in by the end of the week?
Yeah, I hope so, but it depends how doctors will say to me I'm ready or not. So we'll see. I hope so.
How'd you hurt it?
Just preseason workout, some jumps, and just unlock landed. That's it.
Is it difficult to sit out because I think you were kind of expected to maybe be skating on one of the top couple of lines, and there's a good opportunity for you, so you're anxious to get back?
I think now in the camp, especially, everybody has opportunity. So yeah, I just wanted to play, just show to coaching staff what I can to do, what I can, how can I help a team, and but it happens. So just I have to health my ankle and be ready to play.
Do you think there's time to catch up?
Yeah, I think so.
Collarbone in preseason from one of your own guys.
Yeah, it happens. There was no intent, and he jumped right back up, and he was ready to go again. So those things happen over an extended period. You just don't want it happening every day, and we're all good. That was easy. Thanks, guys. We should keep it like this, okay?
Based on who came off when from your first group, it looks like you're going to provide a lot of opportunity to some young guys today. It looks like three or maybe your top four lines, at least on paper, might not be playing. Just a thought on getting another look at a Yamamoto who looks to be in there, and just some of the other younger players that are maybe people have slotted possibly for the AHL.
Well, there's still some players that are in camp that have played games that I personally haven't had a chance to see, because of the Calgary split, and seeing them live is different than seeing them on video. So they deserve the opportunity to play in those situations. They'll get that chance tonight. We are playing back-to-back games, so this is one of those nights where we'll give a lot of the on-the-edge guys an opportunity to step up and separate themselves from that group. And if they don't do that tonight, if they stay in the mix and they're not actively, that's not a good word, they're not really pushing for a spot, then we'll be able to make some decisions over the weekend. Obviously, we'll play the two games. We have an off day Sunday where the organization, the coaching staff, management, some of the scouts that have been around, we can all sit and discuss where we are and what our depth is like in certain situations, who we'd like to see again, and who we're prepared to get on the way.
Did the caliber of players that Vancouver sent to China and maybe what's left here coming in tonight have anything to do with the makeup of tonight's roster?
Not necessarily. We would, we would continue to plan our own camp and play the players that we feel. Now, with that being said, a lot of the Vancouver veterans are over in China playing. They do have some NHL prospects and talent that will be in the game tonight. And, I can tell you, based on our trip to Winnipeg, they had a pretty veteran-laden lineup, but You know, our young guys went in and worked pretty hard, and that's usually what happens. The veterans show up, and the young guys work their butts off. The American League players work their butts off, and you find a way to win. So we'll have to be aware of that tonight in the game.
You looking for Bressois to go the full game? When do you want your goalies to start going all games?
That'll be the plan right now, and that can always change, obviously, is for him to go the full game tonight.
What have you seen maybe different from his demeanor this camp to the previous ones?
Just a more mature approach. You know, I'm a big believer that you need to almost learn how to carry yourself and how to practice at the NHL level before you become an NHL player. And, you know, that position's pretty unique where there's only two of them. And usually as you enter the professional ranks as a goaltender, you've been the go-to guy. You've been the guy that's played a ton of games and led your team to success. And all of a sudden you enter the pro environment and you're pushing just to stay alive. And you have to learn that. You have to learn how to manage your practice habits. And I'm not just talking about LB, I'm talking about goaltenders in general. And I think that he's done those things.
Against the very young lineup, does it kind of skewer the way you can evaluate your own guys? Like, what are you looking for tonight from your side?
You know, we're at the point now where we're beginning to see and look for players playing in structure now. Can they get to the right spots? Can they get it done when they get there? Are their anticipation skills proper to play within our structure? We've given them enough information now to play in 3 zones. You know, I would expect our veteran players that have been around to be sharper in those areas, but some of the younger guys now have to adapt quickly. We're 2 weeks away from opening night, and by the time that rolls around, there are no gray areas. You got to know what your jobs are.
It doesn't look like Jesse's playing tonight, Puljujärvi, but is he healthy right now? And will he?
Yeah, he'll be good and likely in tomorrow's game.
Doug, what do you think about? What do you like about the